How's it going, everybody? Getting ready for week 4 of the NFL season. Just going to give out my picks and let's see how everything goes. To get started, we had Denver versus the Jets on Thursday night. Of course, Denver won 37-28. Of course, if you've seen my videos, you know the drill. If not, I give a rundown of the picks. I do my quick picks, and then I've got 5 games that I do with the spread. And let's get started. All right, Seattle versus Miami. Miami's been playing pretty well of late. They got their first win against the Jags last week, but Russell Wilson, Seattle, just too strong. So I've got the Seahawks. Tampa Bay versus the Chargers. Tom Brady and the Bucks, I think they're really finding themselves. Justin Herbert and the Chargers, they've came up just short a couple of times. I don't think it'll be that close. I think Tampa Bay will handle them pretty easily. So I've got Tampa Bay. Baltimore versus the Washington football team. It's a 13-point spread. I stay away. I don't even know. That's a lot of points. But Baltimore will win the game straight up either way. Arizona versus Carolina. Arizona got their first loss last week. Carolina got their first win. Kind of tough. But Kyler Murray's just really looked good, and DeAndre Hopkins, I've just got to go with the Cardinals. I'm going to go with them. Then got the Eagles versus the Niners. Gosh, the Eagles are just playing so uninspired right now. I know San Fran is real banged up and beat up right now. Gosh, Philadelphia is just playing so rough. Maybe they'll pull it out. You know what? Heck with it. I'll go with the Eagles to get their first win of the year. Seems like a perfect time for them to get it. Let's see. Jacksonville versus Cincinnati. I've got Jacksonville. The Giants versus the Rams. I'll take the Rams. Jared Goff. He's really looking a lot better than he did last year. Then we've got our Sunday night game, which will be New Orleans versus Detroit. Give me New Orleans. And then I think our Monday night game will be Green Bay versus Atlanta. And I will take the Pack. All right, now let's move on to my 5-on-5. All right, and the first game I had, and I had this actually before any of this came out. I usually make my picks around Tuesday or Wednesday. I had Kansas City versus New England. I had the Chiefs minus the 7. Obviously, that game's been postponed now to Cam Newton testing positive for the bear flu. I thought Kansas City would cover. Due to the fact that they're just playing the best football right now. They've already kind of had that struggle against let's just say an insufficient opponent against the Chargers. There's no way the LA Chargers should have pushed them to overtime. Getting that big win at Baltimore last week, I think would have. I think they're riding sky high, and I think they would have brought it over. And, I don't think they would have thrashed New England by, 28 or 35, but I think it would have been about a 2-touchdown win. I wouldn't have been surprised to see a 38-28, 35-24 type victory over the Patriots. Pat Mahomes is playing great. But now, if they do play the game on Monday or Tuesday, like they're talking about, if Cam Newton, which in all likelihood he won't be starting, nothing against Jared Stidham, I'm just not confident that he can keep the Patriots in the game. I'm sure the spread would go up to about maybe 10 or 11, but I would still take the Chiefs because then I think it goes into a 14 to 17, like a 34-17 type game. And I would take the Chiefs all day in that. I know Kansas City's, New England's got a tough defense, but Patrick Mahomes is just playing on a different level than everybody else on the planet right now. And right now, other than Russell Wilson, um, he's in a league of his own. And I don't even know if Russell Wilson is on that plateau with him. I think Russell might be just like right underneath Mahomes. But with that being said, I think if the game does happen, the Chiefs would just dominate it. Um, so I would still go with Kansas City should the game still take place. All right, my next pick, I've got Houston versus Minnesota. I've got Houston -3, or I like Houston -3. Um, both these teams are winless right now. Minnesota, um, it's just a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of football team. You don't know what you're going to get one weekend from the next. And when they're Mr. Hyde, they're really, really bad Mr. Hyde. I mean, that performance against the Colts was absolutely terrible. Now, their game against the Titans was pretty good. They fought hard, but their games against the Colts and the Packers were absolutely pitiful. Dalvin Cook couldn't get the running game going. Kirk Cousins was absolutely abysmal passing. So just really struggled. Now, like I said, when they played against the Titans, they were okay. But, that's 1 out of 3 games. You got to show me more than that. Now, I had Houston as one of the better teams in the AFC, and they have just absolutely stunk it up this year. Which now they've played one of the toughest schedules in the NFL, if you ask me. Playing Kansas City, Baltimore, and Pittsburgh 3 weeks in a row. That's not very easy to do. That's a pretty rough schedule to start with. I don't think Bill O'Brien expected Deshaun Watson and the offense to struggle as much after they got rid of DeAndre Hopkins. That has been an absolute nightmare for them. And I don't know how they've got to find a way to get Watson's magic back. They've got to get him confident. He's got to find himself. He seems like he's lost that Watson greatness in him. And he's got to get it back somehow. I don't know how or what he needs to do, but it's there somewhere. We've all seen it. We've seen Watson bring the Texans back, 10, 20 times. We've seen him do it at Clemson a dozen times. We know Deshaun Watson is a winner. We know he can be a winner at the NFL level. He's done it. He's led the Texans to division championships. What does he need to get to that next level? I think he can do it without Hopkins. He's just got to prove to himself. I think he's just a how should I put it? His confidence is hurt. He needs to build his confidence, and if he doesn't do it soon, that can be. We're getting off into the weeds here, but anyways, I think he's going to get some of it back. This is a very good opportunity for Houston and Bill O'Brien because his seat he's sitting on a grill, and the flames are getting pretty high. If he loses here, I don't think he'll be the coach too much longer. So, that being said, I do think Houston's a better football team. Um, I think they'll get the win over Minnesota and the Vikings. I think they'll cover the spread. I see Houston winning maybe 31-24, 31-27, something along those lines. But Houston should get their first win of the year and send the Vikings to 0-4. All right, now we've got the Dallas Cowboys and the Cleveland Browns. I've got the Dallas Cowboys and 4 points. They're 4-point favorites over the Browns. Cleveland finally getting above 500. It's the first time in a while that's happened. But even though Dallas is 1-2 and Cleveland's 2-1, I don't think there's many people that think that Cleveland's actually the better football team. I mean, you look at the teams that Dallas has lost to. They lost to the LA Rams by 3. And then they lost to the Seattle Seahawks by a touchdown. Both those games were on the road. Then you look at the Cleveland's only loss. They got destroyed by Baltimore. The only really decent team they've played, they got destroyed by. I mean, yes, they beat Cincinnati and Joe Burrow, and I think they beat the Jets, if I'm not mistaken. The Panthers. So, they beat the Bengals and the Panthers, and they've lost to the Ravens. So, Dallas has played a much tougher schedule, and I think Dallas should be head and shoulders above Cleveland. Now, Cleveland does have good weapons. They've got a good running game, and Baker Mayfield is a very effective quarterback. And if he can get Odell Beckham Jr. deep using the run game, using that play-action pass, they can be deadly. With Jones and Beckham Jr., that can be a deadly passing attack. The only thing is, do they stick to that run with Chubb and Akeem Hunt? But that Dallas offense, it don't matter how big of a lead you get on them, whether it's 14 or 21. That Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, those guys are not going to stop. They're going to keep fighting until they get back in the game or they run out of time. And that's how they've been in every game this year. I'm sure Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy would wish they would jump out in front of some people instead of having to always fight from behind, it seems like. But, whatever their style is, I guess. Which maybe it won't be long before they're actually playing some teams that they're actually a little bit better than, instead of having to play top of the line teams every week. So hopefully they'll get a break in their schedule like some other teams have already had. But I think Dallas is going to start getting that. I think Ezekiel Elliott should have another good day. Dak's been fantastic flinging the ball. He's broke 400 yards a couple times already in this short season. The offense has just been spectacular. If they can eliminate the mistakes that they make, Dallas could really be 3-0. They're a couple of plays from being 3-0. So with that being said, I like Dallas to beat Cleveland by a touchdown or 10 points. All right, and now on to the Buffalo Bills and the Las Vegas Raiders. The Bills are favored by 3. I like the Bills in this one. Matchup of two young future of the NFL. Well, other than Pat Mahomes and I guess part of the NFL anyways. Josh Allen and Derek Carr. Allen has really looked great He's thrown for over 1,000 yards in 3 games, 10 touchdowns, 1 interception. Carr has thrown for 789 yards, 6 touchdowns, and no picks. Uh, Looked very good in his 3 games as well. Of course, got beat up by the Patriots last week. Wasn't as much his fault. They haven't built up enough talent around him yet in Las Vegas. They're still a few steps away. And to me, that's the biggest difference in these two teams, is Josh Allen has a lot better team around him. You look at the Stephon Diggs trade, and then them signing Cole Beasley. Just the team around him and the offensive weapons he's got. Now, Derek Carr is getting some. He's got Darren Waller, young tight end, up and coming. Hunter Renfrow, Henry Ruggs III. He hasn't really showed much, but he's a rookie. Josh Jacobs, he's starting to find his legs. He's still had over 70 plus yards, I think, in every game rushing. So the Raiders are definitely getting better, and they are 2-1, but they do need more. And the Bills are where the Raiders think they can get, and or hope they can get, because Buffalo has done it the right way. They've built a team. They built it from the defense first, and they built a nice offensive line. They drafted a quarterback, and hats off to the Bills organization. Everybody was putting them down, and all in a while they were building something up. And now they look like they're the favorite to replace the Patriots. At least, not as a 10-year run, but at least as a contender every year. Somebody that can stand with the Patriots. And it's just, I think Buffalo is that team. I'm kind of biased towards them. I've really kind of fell in love with this team watching them every week. I've paid close attention to them, partly because I've picked them every week. So you always tend to pay closer attention to teams you've picked, and I've just kind of been picking them and paying more close attention to them, and have kind of found a soft spot for them. And they have a chance to be really special in the future if they can keep things together, and maybe could make a run this year if that defense and things work out right. Of course, there's a juggernaut in Kansas City that has something to say about that, as far as anything super. But still, as far as the division title goes, it's definitely in the card for the Bills. And that's why I think they'll be able to go on the road, because of the complete team that they are, and get a win at Las Vegas, and they'll cover the 3. I see them winning this game 34-20, 41-24, something like that. But they will beat the Las Vegas Raiders, and they will cover the 3 points. All right, and the last pick of the weekend, I've got the Chicago Bears plus 2.5 against the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts have looked really good, especially ever since that Week 1 loss to Jacksonville. Jacksonville pulled the upset on them. You kind of wondered, like, dang, is this Phillip Rivers experiment going to work? And ever since then, they have, they drubbed Minnesota. And then last week, they just plastered the New York Jets. So they've looked really good. And the defense has been just spectacular. Then you've got the Chicago Bears, who have kind of stumbled to 3-0. In a way, they were down big in Week 1, to the Detroit Lions. Trubisky managed to bring them back in the fourth quarter. They stole that one 26-23. Then in game 2, they jumped out early, managed to hold on to that one 17-13. Then last week against the Falcons jumped all over them. Trubisky just could not get it together. And in the offseason, they signed Super Bowl MVP. Everybody knows Nick Foles' story from Philadelphia and went to Jacksonville. Most people know what happened in Jacksonville. And the Bears signed him. Well, I wonder, why did the Bears sign him if they wanted him just to be the backup? Well, that's what it looked like it was. I actually picked him to be the starter in my preseason picks. To my surprise, Matt Nagy went with Mitch Trubisky. He's the head coach. That's your choice. But either way, he finally seen the light after let's just say a Atlanta Falcon domination in the first half. Trubisky just could not get anything going for the third straight week. He had one quarter of football in 3 weeks where he looked good. And they bring Nick Foles in. Long story short, Nick Foles brings them back, wins the game. Now Nick Foles is a starter. And to me, Chicago really is a championship contender. A division champion, but also a possible dark horse Super Bowl contender with a quarterback. You've got a ferocious defense with Khalil Mack, the head honcho on that defense, with many other stars on the back end. You've got, to me, the only thing the Bears were missing. I mean, obviously you would like more superstars, but they are a dark horse contender in my book. And to me, this solidifies it. And I think the NFL and everybody's going to get woke up this week by the Bears. And as good as Indianapolis' defense has looked, I think they're going to get shown by how good Nick Foles and this revamped Bears offense will look. At least that's what I'm kind of hoping for. And I think Nick Foles will show them, because it was night and day how that Chicago offense looked. And if that can continue week in and week out, this will be a very impressive Chicago Bears defense. And I cannot wait to see the Bears and the Packers play. That will be one heck of a couple matchups we've got coming up later in the year. But anyways, I will not keep y'all any longer. I have the Bears winning 28-24 over the Indianapolis Colts. And that'll get it for my NFL picks for this week. I will have my college football review tomorrow. I know I've been saying it, but I will have my NLALDS for the Major League Baseball playoffs. I will have something coming out in the next couple of days before that gets started. And I'll also have my NFL Week 4 review. So until then, y'all take care. God bless. Peace.